Welcome. My name is Rozanne. I'm so glad you're here. I have never done this type of thing before, and I'm hoping that you enjoy it. You'll have to tell me in the comments. But what I'm thinking is that I am going to walk you through the process of what it took me to decorate my dining area, and particularly these 4 shelves for the 4th of July. But I'm really just putting up a lot of red, white, and blue, and after the 4th of July, I'm planning on taking down the things that are specific to the 4th, and I might add in a few more things. As you can see, the first thing I had to take care of was I just had to empty these shelves. I had decorated them in March, I think, and of course I needed to clean them. What I've been taking down is my mother's china and some of my grandmother's dishes and wedding gifts, which I really enjoyed having those up, and I'm sure I'll put them back up at some point. So I'm going to clean the shelves and get them all ready to go. While I do that, let me introduce myself. I live in Utah. We have 4 children. They're all adult. 2 of them live with us. And we have 4 grandchildren, and 2 of them live with us. And my 98-year-old mother lives with us too. I have recently retired, so I'm trying to figure out how to get everything in my home organized, how to manage myself and pace myself so I can keep the home clean. I've recently started a series called Let's Talk Thursday, where we just will talk about things that are important to us, how we can make our life more hopeful and learn from our life. And it's just kind of a heart-to-heart, and I hope you'll enjoy it. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get decorating now. I bought these blue and white plates for a really good deal at TJ Maxx for a number of months ago, and I love them so much, and it occurred to me it would be really fun to use them for this display. So you can see that I'm putting them up on a zigzag, which is really the way I operate with any of the big items on these shelves. It kind of keeps your eye moving and it balances things. Now, I've had these red houses since Christmas, and I have loved them so much. I use them for the 4th of July. I've used them for Valentine's Day and, of course, Christmas. So my idea is that I'm going to use them in a balanced way, but I'm not going to do the same thing that I did with the blue and white plates, because I have some ideas of how I'm going to fill in those other corners. I also have these white houses, and I just keep thinking I'm going to be able to use those. For some reason, I just can't seem to make them work with the red houses. I think they're too much the same size, too much the same scale, and I have to choose. Of course, I would use the red houses in this circumstance. With a couple exceptions, everything you see me using I've had for quite a while, and I will tell you about the new things. The problem I'm running into right now is everything is so close in scale. The houses and the little signs and the little decorations. And so I realize I have to do something. And I like to keep some greenery on these shelves. I decided I'm going to put these arrangements back up, the ones that I just used, and then I'll do something with them later. And then I can fill in these other ends of the shelves in a way that I can create some balance. Well, then I start rearranging everything around and just working it and thinking, what am I going to have to do to make this look right? I have this sign that I made. It was a frame I got at a thrift store, and I just put some scrapbooking paper and some glitter stickers in it. I did that in a project last summer, and I'm going to link to the video to that in the description below so you can see what I had done. Because these floral arrangements just were made out of greenery, I think, well, I am going to put some white and some red flowers in there. I have a lot of this baby's breath, artificial baby's breath that I bought last year from Amazon. It has really been helpful to me, and it's a really good filler. It was kind of an investment to get as much as I did, but I have found I use all of it because I end up with so many arrangements around my home. And then last 4th of July, I bought some red flowers. I have some roses, and these are actually mini roses. And as you can see, I am bending the bottoms because I have a very hard time making myself cut the flowers off of the stems because I never know what I'm going to do with them. It has to be a really big bunch with one of those really thick ends that you can't hardly bend to make me cut them off. I'm just so unpredictable in what I'm going to do. Hey, here's my granddaughter. She's 12. She's such a cutie, and she wanted to see what I'm doing. But I'm just having a lot of fun at this point, arranging things and stirring things around. And I just think it is brightening up these shelves so much to add the white and the red to these arrangements. It's just looking more and more like the 4th of July to me, and kind of happy. Let's skip ahead and we'll work on this vase. Now this actually isn't a vase, it's a little pot that has a lid, and it has something about honey on the front, so I always turn it around so that's toward the back. And the opening was so small, and as you can see, I'm not going to cut this apart. I had some trouble getting that to work, and I just kept bending everything because I was determined. One of the reasons I like to use it is because it's tall enough and it fills in, and if I add more flowers and greenery, it will really start to fill in the space between the shelves. So I'll tell you what, sometimes I get really determined and I won't give up until I'm happy with it. So I decide, well, it's okay. And I have this little block that has different kinds of patriotic sayings, and I've got to figure out where I'm going to put it. And this is where sometimes I come up with some different ideas, but I just keep pushing it around and trying things until I can live with it. So I'm going to zoom in so you can see my Snoopy, my 4th of July Snoopy. I really like Snoopy and the Peanuts. And so I am gradually collecting some for all of the holidays. I've had this one for about 3 years, I think. Then I got these blue bowls this year from TJ Maxx. And they've got such cute centers. I mean, the pattern in the side is so cute, but you can't really see them. And I was trying so hard to get them to stand up, and I just wasn't able to do it. And then it occurred to me, I can use the packing that came with the bowls to kind of fill in there, and was able to create a little bit of a look. But I just think it's too bad that you can't walk by there and see the patterns in those little bowls. And I don't know how you could display them unless you had them all lined up with them tipped out, but it still looks really cute, I think. This is when I gave up using that last white house. It just didn't work, and so I tried putting this block here. I kept moving this around all over, and again, it just felt like I had too much the same scale. I didn't know what I was going to do, so I thought, okay, well, I am going to just move on and see if I come back and figure out that later. And I had this star, which I thought would look nice on this shelf, and it kind of filled in, gave a little bit of 4th of July, and I thought created some balance between the two ends. Then I realized I really do need to have some greenery on the end of this shelf. The problem I had is I didn't have another white vase that was tall enough for there, and sometimes when I use this cup, I'll put something underneath it to bring it up. But at that moment, I didn't want to go out to my garage and go through all of my bins trying to find some of those risers. So I thought, well, maybe I can just take care of this by adding some florals and make it higher. And so I tried that and tried balancing, but as you can see, it just seems smaller than the rest of them. And I kept moving everything around, trying to get it to work out. So then I thought, well, maybe if I move this red sign up there, it will be heavier and it will kind of create some weight and some balance over here. And I am so technical with things. I am using a push pin, and this sign was a little bit heavy for it, but again, I wasn't going to go out to the garage and find a nail and find a hammer. Sometimes that's just my attitude about it. What is the fastest way I can get this done? Let me do that. I knew it was time to do something with that block because it just didn't work up there. And I decided, that basket is so big. I think the two sides are balanced, so I don't need to do anything about that. And so I brought the block down and I put my Snoopy on it. And it made my Snoopy look more important and that shelf look more balanced, and I was happy with that. I had this one little sign left, and I looked and looked and I realized there isn't a good place for it. And if I try to put it up there, it's just going to look junky. So I moved on. But then I got my scathingly brilliant idea. Scathingly brilliant is a term that comes from one of my favorite Haley Mills movie, The Trouble with Angels. Have you ever seen that? So I had found a brand new Peanuts. Oh, what do you call them? Canister. Yeah, it was a canister and it has all the Peanut characters on it. It's so hard to find something with all the Peanuts characters on it that when I found it, I just grabbed it. Got it at TJ Maxx, and I thought, I can use that for my vase. So I put all the florals in it, and it was just large enough that I think it filled in, and it has a similar size to the vase and the bottom shelf. Once I got the shelves done, I moved on to this little table surface, and this is just a nightstand. When we built those shelves, it's such a small area that's only 24 inches wide, and we were really happy to find this little nightstand that fit in there on Wayfair. So I'm just going to use the rest of those plates and start arranging things, trying to make it look good. And I had been using this little box for my tea packets, all my little herbal teas, and I didn't have anything that would work. So I started trying all kinds of random things. And you could just see me. Sometimes this table is a bit of a challenge, and I need to create different heights. So I'm doing all kinds of weird things. I have this little cake plate stand, whatever you call them, and I think, oh, I can put something on top of there, and then it just looks a little weird to me. And I just am really random at this point. So it moves so fast. I'm just going to let you see this. I'm trying this little canister that I've got the tea in is a honey pot. But that was such a good idea to put that on that candlestick. And I've just got too many things that are too close in scale. And then I remember I have this flag. I had hung it in the hall last 4th of July, and I just think, oh my goodness, that is just filling that in, and it's looking so much better. But again, look at me. I'm trying putting a pot on top of a pot, and it's just not working out. It's not working out. That new thing is a honey pot. I take that away. Okay, yeah, the candle was a really good idea there, Rozanne. And let me move on to this bottom shelf. And I love to decorate with the cake stand and put things in it. So again, I get my little pot and I think, well, I can balance the sign there, but I need to put something in the pot. So I have some red roses, and I decide, well, if I can get 5 of those red roses in there, then that will work out okay. So here I am. I'm going to bend these long roses and try to get them all in this little container with all the bottoms, and it ends up proving to be quite a challenge. I'm not going to show all of that, but it just kept falling apart over and over and over again. But sometimes I can be kind of determined. I was not going to give up with this idea. It was too short, and so it smashed everything. So then I went and got this smaller, oh, what are they called? I'm not sure. I think, well, that's shorter. Maybe I can get that to work. But because it was shorter, I had an even harder time getting those roses to stay in there. And they just kept falling out over and over and over again. But I finally got them in. I put the cake top on it again, and again it was smashed. And I was disappointed because I thought this is a really good idea. I thought, well, maybe it won't look so bad if it's smashed if I put the sign in there. And then the sign was too tall, it wouldn't even go down. So I thought, okay, I have to have another solution. Then it finally occurs to me what I could do. I can use one of these blue and white plates, put the cake cover on it, whatever you call that, and because there's like a divot in the plate, it would create enough room for the cake top cover thing, and it looks really nice, I think, with the red and the blue. And then I finally have a place to put my little sign. Why I'm looking in that drawer, I don't know. So then I think, well, I'm going to try putting this flag in this little arrangement, and that is a really hard ball. I don't know what I'm thinking. I get it in there and it doesn't look good. All right, I was finished with that area, and I wanted to do something with the table, and I'm going to hang a banner, but I had to clean up this mess. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you'll know that I tried growing herbs on the windowsill. It was a gigantic failure, and I finally decided, well, okay, today is the day I'm going to clean this mess up. I'm going to link to that video before, because it was really nice when I planted those, and it looked very hopeful, but it didn't work out. We'll skip ahead to after I had put all that stuff away, or moved it anyway. And I've been using this pitcher with these white flowers in there for months and months. And I thought, well, I can easily jazz this up with some of the red roses and make it look nice. And I'm using 3 different kinds of red roses. I'm using some of the larger ones, these little flowers that are a deeper red. And again, I'm bending the bottom, which can be sometimes a problem to get them in there. And I'm spreading them around because I want everyone to have a good view when they sit at the table. And then I decide this is the place for the flag. And I think that worked out nicely, and I really didn't have to do much. I've gotten so I really prefer simple centerpieces on my table. They're easy to move, easy to change my tablecloth out, and I just am not doing all the tier trays that I used to do. I have this banner that I got last year, I think at Home Goods. Oh, I don't have a good amount of memory about where I bought things, but I like it because it's made out of fabric and it is stuffed. It's on some twine, so I'll just hang that up. A few days ago, I went to the thrift store and I found this cute little container that I've got the tea in. It cost me 75 cents, and I think it looked just perfect. I hope you enjoyed this. It was a lot of fun to make for you. I am going to link to the playlist that has all of my 4th of July decorating from last year, and I'll see you next time. Bye!